Part 4, Reality, Limits, and the Long War Ahead, 1943. Good morning, all officers. In the previous part, we saw how the Allies survived the loss of Burma and began planning a return. By the end of 1942, British, Indian, American, and Chinese commanders were working together to reconnect India and China through Burma. For the first time, there was hope. But in 1943, the Allies would learn a harsh lesson. Planning a campaign and executing a campaign were two very different things. As 1943 began, Allied intelligence estimated that Japan could deploy up to 12 divisions in Burma, supported by tanks, aircraft, and naval forces. The Japanese were unlikely to invade India on a large scale, but they would fight fiercely to hold Burma. This realization changed Allied thinking. The question was no longer how to defend India. The question became how to eventually recover Burma. In February 1943, senior commanders met in Delhi and Calcutta to discuss the future campaign. The proposed plan was ambitious. It included land, sea, and air operations, a direct assault on Rangoon, and coordinated advances by Chinese forces from Yunnan and Ledo. On paper, it looked impressive, but there was one major problem. The Allies simply did not have enough troops, ships, aircraft, or supplies to carry it out. The dream of a quick reconquest had to be postponed. And that is when commanders discovered the biggest obstacle in Burma, not the Japanese: logistics. Every road, railway, river, and supply dump suddenly became as important as the battlefield itself. On 2 July 1943, General Auchinleck reviewed the situation and delivered a conclusion that would shape the entire campaign. He stated that the depth of any advance into Burma must be governed by maintenance and the construction of all-weather roads. In simple terms, armies could only advance as far as they could be supplied. This was especially important because nearly every major operation depended on the Assam line of communication. That network was already overloaded. It carried military supplies, commercial traffic, and the growing air supply effort to China. As a result, Allied planners adopted a new principle. Only areas connected by reliable all-weather roads could be permanently occupied. Suddenly, engineers became just as important as infantrymen. Road building became part of military strategy. For the winter campaign of 1943 to 44, Chinese forces advancing from Yunnan would pressure Japanese forces. Chinese troops from Ledo would move toward Myitkyina as logistics allowed. British forces near the Chindwin would conduct limited offensives while pushing roads deeper toward Burma. The Allies had learned that victory would not come from bold attacks alone. It would come from building the infrastructure needed to support those attacks. At the same time, another objective continued to dominate planning: Akyab. The capture of Akyab was considered vital for both military and psychological reasons. Large-scale plans were prepared involving assault brigades, air support, naval firepower, and long-range penetration groups operating behind enemy lines. But just as preparations gathered momentum, nature intervened. Severe floods struck Bengal. Roads were damaged. Communications suffered. Supply calculations collapsed. On 13 August 1943, General Auchinleck informed the chiefs of staff that there was little immediate prospect of major operations in Upper Burma. He increasingly favored focusing on the Arakan coast and the capture of Akyab. At the same time, another strategic debate was taking place. Should the Allies attack Burma immediately, or should they build strength for a larger campaign later? Auchinleck even considered alternative operations, such as Culverin in North Sumatra and Buccaneer in the Andaman Islands.
The monsoon is closing
These
in.
discussions reveal an important truth. Even Allied leaders not always agree on the fastest path to victory. Meanwhile, commanders in Eastern Army feared that remaining entirely on the defensive would encourage Japanese aggression and damage morale. As a result, a compromise emerged. Limited offensive action would continue wherever possible. This thinking produced Outline Plan Bigot on 25 August 1943. The plan aimed to prevent Japanese expansion west of the Chindwin, clear key areas in the Chin Hills, conduct limited raids, and convince the Japanese that a larger offensive was being prepared. The Allies were now fighting not only with troops, but also with deception. Then came the most important strategic development of the year, the Quebec Conference in August 1943. Until this point, Allied policy had focused mainly on supplying China by air. The Quebec Conference changed that. For the first time, priority was given to the land and air operations needed to reopen direct communications with China. This decision transformed the future of the Burma Campaign. The conference also created the Southeast Asia Command, or SEAC, under Lord Mountbatten. This was a major turning point. For the first time, the war in Southeast Asia had its own dedicated command structure. Planning became more coordinated, resources became more focused, and the reconquest of Burma began to look achievable. Following Quebec, new plans were prepared. On 7 September 1943, Allied planners proposed coordinated advances by Chinese forces from Yunnan and Ledo and Indian forces from Imphal. The objective was clear: contain Japanese forces, protect the air route to China, and eventually reopen a land route between India and China through Myitkyina and Lashio. Long-range penetration groups would once again play an important role, operating behind enemy lines and disrupting Japanese communications. By late 1943, the Allies had still not liberated Burma. The Akyab offensive had failed. Supply problems remained, communications were fragile, and jungle warfare experience was still limited. Yet something important had changed. The Allies now understood the battlefield. They understood the terrain. They understood logistics. They understood multinational cooperation. And they had begun building the roads, airfields, command structures, and operational experience needed for future success. When we look at 1943, it is easy to focus on the delays and setbacks. But that misses the larger story. 1943 was not the year the Allies won Burma. It was the year they learned how to win Burma. Every failed plan, every flood, every supply crisis, every conference, and every difficult lesson helped prepare the way for the campaigns that would follow. The Allies entered 1943 hoping to retake Burma. They ended 1943 knowing how to do it. And that made all the difference.